With your CIGTV News Update, I'm Donna Bush. Thanks for joining us. We begin with news from the National Gallery and the Ministry of Culture. Recently, artworks from 4 local artists was purchased to be placed in the National Art Collection. One of 4 impressionistic painter Christopher Christian tells us why he decided to pursue the art form.
I find it easier to work to tell the stories, or for me to work with acrylics. I find it dries faster, so a lot of my thoughts and feelings, I like to capture them within a time frame so it doesn't change, or it's easier for me to capture that feeling. It feels good to be a part of the National Gallery, to showcase my work here and have other younger people look at it and get inspired, or just comment on it and feel, or see something to evoke other thoughts into there, to see what Cayman artists are doing. I think it's very important for Caymanians and foreigners or people who are on the island to see the talents and the versatility and the different artworks that we have. It's such a small island.
Now, this is the second year that the Ministry of Culture has supported the expansion of the National Art Collection at the National Gallery. At a recent event announcing and unveiling the work of the 4 local artists, Minister for Culture, the Honorable Dwayne Seymour, said, "I'm delighted that we have been able to help acquire these important pieces for the National Art Collection for the people of the Cayman Islands now and long into the future. The 4 artists are masters of their genre, and these particular pieces are works of the finest caliber." End quote. Now, the acquisition is all part of the National Gallery's strategy to have significant works of art by Cayman artists identified annually in the gallery collections and exhibitions committee, with the hope that sponsorship will be secured to acquire the work for the National Art Collection. Now, work is selected based upon the significance of the artist, the standard of work, the significance of the work in an exhibition capacity, and its popular appeal. And join us on Wednesday when we feature artist Al Ebanks. Meantime, the Ministry of Financial Services and Home Affairs has announced the appointment of 3 Caymanians as the new Deputy Chief Fire Officers for the Cayman Islands Fire Service. Mr. Roy Charlton is the Deputy Chief Fire Officer for Domestic. Mr. Bevan Elliott has been appointed to the role of Deputy Chief Fire Officer for Aviation, and Ms. Tina Choi is the Deputy Chief Officer for Administration. The senior officers were selected after the completion of a rigorous open recruitment process. The Home Affairs Ministry has been supporting the fire service on its journey to becoming a world-class uniformed service, an essential element of which has been a strategy to provide essential training opportunities with a focus on leadership development for those who have identified a wish to be taken on such roles within the organization. In response to the announcement of the appointments, Minister for Financial Services and Home Affairs, the Honorable Tara Rivers, said, quote, "We are extremely pleased to have these experienced and highly capable Caymanian officers fill their critical senior management roles within the fire service. I'm confident that they will continue to work hard, strive for excellence, and be the ambassadors of our mission to develop and promote the highest quality of officers and create a world-class fire service," end quote. All 3 fire officers took up their new posts on the 4th of March. Well, on Thursday this week, the Health Services Authority will celebrate World Kidney Day with the rest of the world. Free quick health checks will also be given for blood pressure, glucose, cholesterol, your height and weight from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. That's all happening this Thursday at the Health Services Authority. The Global Awareness Campaign is celebrated and aimed at increasing awareness of the importance of kidney disease and its associated problems worldwide. A doctor and dietitian will also be available on Thursday to answer questions from the public during the same hours. And that ends today's news update here on CIG Television. If you've missed it, you can go to the Cayman Islands Government Facebook page, as well as the YouTube channel. That's the CIG Television YouTube channel. I'm Donna Bush, as always, wishing you a safe and wonderful night, and hoping you'll join me back here again tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye for now. Did you know that fences and walls within the high water setback require planning permission no matter the height? You should check with the department, as a planning and permit application may be required. Did you know that a trellis structure requires planning permission? You should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required. Did you know that a deck more than 6 inches above finished grade requires planning permission? Did you know you should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required? Did you know that planning permission is required for a sign? Did you know you should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required? Did you know you should check with the department before leasing a property or unit for a business, as a planning and permit application may be required? Did you know that planning permission is required for a shed? Did you know you should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required? Did you know planning permission is required to clear land by mechanical means? You should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required.
Boating, fishing, and water sports in the Cayman Islands are great, but keep a cool head. Here are 7 tips for fun and safe sea outings. Number 1. Use a checklist to plan your outing. Check the weather forecast, make a float plan, and share it with someone who is remaining on land, stating where you're going, with whom, and when you're expected to return. Visit your nearest marine supply store to get your safety gear. This includes signaling mirrors, whistles, and a flare kit. It's also very important to have onboard flotation devices and life vests for each person. There are different types of vests. Some are for water sport activities such as snorkeling, and others are for going on offshore boating or on fishing trips. Number 2. These items can be lifesavers in case of an accident or bad weather. Number 3. Use a motor kill switch, especially if you're boating alone. In case of a leak or breakdown, always stay with the boat until help arrives. If you capsize, an emergency beacon or locator device can send a distress signal to inform the authorities of your location. Larger flares will indicate distress to a boat, airplane, or search and rescue officials. Number 4. In addition to sunscreen, food, and beverages, it would be smart to have a cell phone. Make sure your marine radio works. Cayman boaters use Channel 16 to communicate. Number 5. Also, don't forget your anchor and sufficient rope. Number 6. Boat operators should be familiar with the local waters and reefs, as well as the capabilities and functions of the vessels they are using. Always obey the rules of the sea and the marine environment, and have courtesy for others. Number 7. Alcohol and salt water do not mix, especially if you're the captain. Some useful contact numbers are 911. The RCIPS Marine Base is 649-7710, and the Port Authority is 949-2055. Smooth sailing, all!
Did you know that planning permission is required for an addition, alteration, or any material change to your house? The 10% rule no longer exists. Did you know you should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required? Did you know your mailing address details on your land register must be up to date in order to receive notices on new development which may impact you? Visit Lands and Survey Department to check your mailing address is correct.